Good evening, good evening. Welcome to this week's penultimate January Lumenswap Show with myself and my bro Glojita over there in the US and myself here in the UK are going to be bringing you the fire this evening. If you are around and listening, hit us up in the comments. If you're on YouTube, hit us up in the comments, say hello, and we'll try and engage with you as the show goes on. What I would say is tonight is going to be quite interesting because not only are we going to be talking about Lumenswap, we're going to be talking about Rabet, and we're also going to be talking about what could be deemed as a competitor to Lumenswap. And because I think it's important for you guys to know what lending and borrowing is going to mean to Stellar, right? I think it's important for you to understand. And there's a lot of people in the Stellar ecosystem, in the Stellarverse, that have never experienced lending and borrowing. So we're going to cut the show into a few parts. We're going to cut the show into a little bit of tutorial, a little bit of an oversight, a little bit of talking about Rabet and the auction platform, and a little bit of talking about Lumenswap in general and some other crypto topics. So to begin the show tonight, and good evening, everyone, by the way. Good evening, Jack, and good evening, G, and Chris, and Fergal, RD. How you doing, guys? We're all having a lot of fun in this downturn. Just before the show, Glow and I were talking and saying, you know something, I'm so ingrained into the games and like everything I'm trying to do with all these other projects. I'm not actually personally looking at the market like I used to, like an investor standpoint, because I know what's going to be happening in terms of utilization, gamification, and all this stuff. And I've got my heads too full without looking at red in the market and being too concerned. So, yeah, Glow, it's great to be for you to be with us again. It's been a fantastic week with Drift, with Lumenswap, with the auction, the pre-sale. How are you seeing February, mate?
February is exciting. I mean, right now we have, of course, a downturn in the market. Most of the other places in the crypto sphere, they're all freaking out. Of course, there's fear in the market. There's a lot of stuff going on geopolitically, and we know that these assets are here to stay. They're not going anywhere. They're long-term projects, and this is a temporary situation. But I'm seeing on Stellar, there's new projects coming out almost weekly. We got Rabet that's about to launch on the auction protocol. We got Interstellar that's coming within the next couple weeks or so. We got Xstar that just had a successful pre-sale, selling over 15 billion in just 24 hours. And we got Drift that's continuing to evolve, and it's been very resilient in this bear market that we're going through. I see, honestly, you could put your tokens in Drift, and it seems kind of like a stable coin at this point because it's not really being affected by the bigger market. But yeah, February looks like it's going to continue this trend, and we're just going to see new projects coming out and more projects partnering up, bringing that unity that we've all been wanting to see in the Stellar network.
Yeah, I think that's it. I mean, the build side now is coming, full steam ahead, isn't it, in Stellar? And we're seeing, a new product from Lumenswap, which is of course the auction platform. We're going to cover that. We're going to have a little look at that. And I'm super excited about these new projects that are coming and whether they actually get they pass the tick boxes of Lumenswap and whether they get to the auction phase. Because if they get to the auction phase, the 10K holders, the Lucy holders are going to be getting these drops of these new tokens coming. And that in itself is like super exciting. It's a big reason to be holding LSP. Of course, there's the monthly rewards, the holding rewards, the LP rewards. But these now gives it an extra dimension where we can say if you're holding, you're going to also be getting these, alternative tokens dropped to you. And I think a lot of people, I mean, me being a real advocate of this, is to be getting a diversified drop of tokens just for holding one single pool of tokens. I think it almost sets Lumenswap apart from a lot of other projects because a lot of other projects are obviously invested in their own token and they will drop their own. But this getting multiple different tokens as the months go on is going to be something that I think a lot of Lucy hodlers and LSP 10K Club hodlers are going to get really amped about as we go forward.
Yeah, I agree. Jack brought up a good point in the Lumenswap chat earlier. He mentioned about these Lucy NFTs could potentially be one of the only real NFTs on Stellar because they're actually hosted on the blockchain. It's not hosted on a central site. I mean, we love Lightman. I love what they're doing for innovation, but it's gonna just drive innovation if there's multiple people making NFT marketplaces. Because if not, it's just going to cause stagnation if it's too centralized and there's not multiple people building. So I'm just glad to see all of this innovation coming, and it's just getting started. We're seeing smart contracts starting to come out with turrets. I think once that starts, it's just going to blossom. All the projects are going to start using smart contracts, and then there's going to be a flood into the Stellar network once they realize we got gamification going on, we got smart contracts, we got amazing NFT community with really creative artists. I think it's once people realize what we got going on here, there's just going to be a flood. And whether it comes in spring, whether it comes in summer, just get your positions in now so that whenever this flood does come, you're ready. You got the front row seats to the concert.
Yeah, I think that I mean, it's when you are looking longer term, as from an investment standpoint, the short term doesn't really matter. Yeah, as long as the projects are developing still and the finances are there to enable their development, the short term doesn't matter what happens this week, next week, 2 weeks, 5 weeks. It doesn't matter because you're thinking 6 months, 12 months, 18, 2 years. There was someone, I can't think the podcast I was listening to in the car when I was dropping my daughter to school last week. And they were saying, look, I'm looking at crypto projects with 10 years mindset. And I was like, this dude knows what's up. This guy that was speaking is like minimum 5 to start hitting some serious, big moves. But 10 years, where are these going to be in 10 years? And I thought when you start going macro with your thinking, over a much longer period of time, it does not matter the fluctuations in the market now. We look at, are these big institutions and corporations coming and looking at blockchain technology and looking at Stellar Network, looking at that? Are these conversations happening? Is there institutional funding coming into crypto? Yes. There is, and we need them to come in. It's all very well to be, we're for the people and it's decentralized, this world that we're in. But we also need the big bucks coming in supporting projects. I was having a conversation just on voice notes earlier on today, and I was saying, that Drift obviously has this policy where we want to invest in great artists, great projects, etc. And is this detrimental to the individual investor? And I think it's necessary. I think, we have to have projects investing in other projects as well, as much as that might be, well, hang on, this is a conflict of interest here, but we need projects to start spreading this word outwards, and these traditional companies coming into the crypto world to bring more liquidity, to bring more interest, to bring more promotion, and to come in. And this starts, I think, with this collaboration with different projects inside crypto, for then the other ones outside crypto to be thinking, okay, we're going to come in. I mean, we've seen, I think it was 25 million that was put in by, one of these kind of funds or something into Curve. And, Curve's 20 billion TVL project. So I think through this time where it's upside down, are we thinking this is it? This is it done. Crypto's finished. It's never coming back, because that's what people are saying. Everything's going to go to naught, right? That's what that kind of mentality is basically thinking. Or is this just evolution? Is this manipulation from outside? Are we actually just in this period before we see monumental growth, tsunamis of of liquidity, of finances from outside and inside coming into the space. And I think we're really at that point where you cannot stop this train now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's definitely getting to that point where it's unstoppable. It's just going to eat the previous system alive. And going back to what you're saying about these stellar projects linking up, I see it kind of like a tree. You got to plant those seeds, and the tree's only going to be as strong as the foundation. You have to set up a strong foundation of projects that are going to work together, because there's strength in numbers, there's strength in unity. It's not all about the I mindset, it's about the we mindset, because we can do more as a team, we can do more together to help everybody. Because once you start thinking about yourself and what I can get out of it, people start getting selfish, start dumping on the other people, and that doesn't help anybody. We need to, they call it stellar family. I keep on going back to that, because we need to be united. We need to help each other out. The projects need to work together.
Yeah, I'm, well, you know as well as I do from working with me for as long as you have, that, that's something that I hold very dear. And I said to Phil, one of the reasons that I would come on board with Drift Exchange is because I see unity. I know that Vlad is very keen on unity as well, but he'll only unify decentralized projects that are ruffling feathers. He won't unify anything that doesn't quite go with Lumenswap's core philosophy, which is Web3 decentralized. And that being said, that takes us nicely into Rabet. Now, last week we talked about this sale that, had just gone bloody mental. And it had sold out in 23 minutes, $400,000 in 23 minutes. And I know we're all there, having a lot of fun, laughing, and we got our orders away, and we're really excited about that. But we've just round the corner, 48 hours away, 2 days away from the Rabet auction. And the Rabet auction is again, getting a lot of attention. Vlad said to me, I want to consult with you, Ben. What do you think? Do you think we need to delay? Do you think that there needs to be, a little bit of consideration with regards to the market, the exterior market, and this? What do you think? And I said, I'll tell you something now, Vlad, this is going to blow up. And I'll tell you the reason why it's going to blow up. I says, because people, even in upturn markets, they will find the crypto assets to invest in projects that they believe in. And it doesn't matter whether the market's upside down. If you're a strong project, you can launch with this upside down market and you can sell out. And because there's only 8 million tokens available to the wider, crypto community, 2 million are being airdropped to Lucian and 10K hodlers. There's only 8 million tokens available on the auction site. I said you will not have any problem in the whole of that allocation going. He told me some of the prices he was expecting that we might, aspire to achieve. I said, Vlad, I said, you're undercooking it. I says, that ain't going to be the case. I says, it's going to be more than that. I said, it's going to be more, because people are thinking, hang on a second, where's a safe haven for my crypto assets on Stellar that is going to appreciate in price, that I'm going to get hodlers rewards from, LP rewards from. They're going to be bringing out the most innovative network of wallets on Stellar. People ain't stupid. They're looking, thinking, I can find $500 for this, even in this downturn market. Do you think it's going to go? Do you think it's going to go crazy in the last week of the auction?
You know what? I agree completely. We saw what happened with the Lumenswap auction whenever that happened, and that was back in July, when we didn't have as strong as a community as we do now, and we saw how fast it sold out on pre-sale. It sold out in 23 minutes. That 400K, that in a downturn market, that doesn't happen. And I'm seeing on all of the stellar communities, everybody's super excited. Everybody's like, how can I get some money for the Rabet auction? How can I do this? How can I do that? Because they know it's definitely an amazing opportunity to get into something early. The way I see it, it's like investing into MetaMask. This is going to be the MetaMask of the Stellar network. Right now, a lot of people use Lobster, which it's easy to use. I understand why they use it. I use it because it's probably the best mobile wallet we have right now. But I haven't even been getting my transactions to come through. It's been glitching, showing weird amounts. It's just not a good user experience. Now, if they are successful, which we've seen how the developers have been putting out these products, if they can get this wallet to be able to connect to the S apps, and I think a few days ago I saw Lumenswap announce that you don't even have to hit connect. If you're on the Rabet wallet, it automatically connects to Lumenswap app. And if they can get the S apps to a browser and the S apps for the mobile wallet, as well as an NFT gallery, and if they can make it really innovative, people are going to jump ship. They're not going to care about Lobster anymore. Rabet's going to be the wallet that everybody uses. And with the tokenomics and the low supply, this thing is a gem. That's all there is to it.
So with that being said, let's do a little, let's do a screen share and let's show people this new, this Rabet auction. Well, the auction platform, but the Rabet's obviously the next one. So just bear with me while we get this up and running. Let's, in fact, let me just make sure that we got it first of all. So the auction platform, and then I'll share the auction platform. Okay. Okay. Let's go back. Let's click on the auction board. And then let's have a look here and let's try and open it up a bit. Let's see if we can get it like a little bit like this, maybe. Okay. So we've got rid of, let's just get rid of your comment there, Bernard. Let's get rid of, hide that. So are you seeing a full screen now?
You're good.
Okay, perfect. So I'm just going to come across here and I'm going to talk you through it. So what we've got, guys, is this is the Lumenswap platform. What I've done is I've clicked on the auction board. So when you click onto lumenswap.io and then you click launch app, you can then select app. And there's 7 different options now. There's 7 different clients. One of those clients is called auction. If you click onto the auction, this is what you're presented with. You can see here that the auction has not started, right? So this will be green when it starts. We've got Rabet RBT, an integrated set of open source wallets for Stellar Network, allowing everyone around the world to interact with Stellar. We've got the amount that we're going to be selling, which is 8 million Rabet RBT tokens and a base price. This base price is going to be confirmed prior to, remember this is placeholder at the moment, this can be confirmed 1 day prior to the auction. So tomorrow they will take a price which is 4 cents in XLM. Yeah, so a 4 cent, whatever XLM is in 4 cents, they will be deciding that tomorrow, and then on Tuesday the auctions will be going live. So if I click onto this, it opens up another page for us. So I'm hoping, because I'm streaming, that this does it. Maybe I'll need to refresh in a minute, but we'll hope that it actually loads. Taking its time. Okay, let's click on again. There we go. Okay, so we're in. So how this is going to work is, are you still seeing this okay, Glow, yeah?
Yeah, it's still up.
Okay, so how we're going to see this is as follows. You can see here there is going to be this price. So we're going to get the bid price. You can see this little box that's following my cursor there. You've got the RBT and XLM. So it's going to be an XLM, the token sale. That you've got the bid price in XLM and you've got the volume. What this basically means is the bid price is going to be the price that you are willing to pay. Starting off at whatever, let's just pretend, right? So this is an example, that it's 0.16 XLM. Yeah, 0.16 is 4 cents. If that is the case, then we'll start off and there'll be some bids at 0.16, right? 4 cents. And these bids will be on the left-hand side here. So these bids are going to come in and then there will be like there will be the bid price, 0.16. And then there's going to be the amount, and the amount's going to go up, and it will say to us that the amount here is like 1,000, 3,000, whatever it is, yeah, 500. people are going to be able to bid. And you're going to get like a little bar chart. And underneath here, there's going to be the next one, which is going to be 0.161 or 0.165. The next higher price up is going to be next to it. So we're going to see this one, the bottom price is 0.16, and then the next price up and the next, and we'll be able to scroll across and see all of these prices and the volume going up here of tokens that are being bid at that price. So I hope that makes sense, right? So you're going to see a bar chart of all of the tokens bid at different prices in stacks going along here. When the end of the auction comes, the 8 million tokens will start at the highest price. So if someone puts like 0.20, and that's the highest one, the 0.20 will fill first. Then it will be the 0.199, 0.198, going all the way backwards. The people that have bid 0.16 will not get their orders filled because it starts on the right, on the most expensive, and comes backwards until 8 million tokens, are sold there, coming back. If you just have a look at any because I can't see the comments, if you have a look at comments coming in or questions, Glow, and you just shout them out to me as I'm going along, and then I will address those to people rather than having to come back and forward, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so we've got the asset issuer code here. All right, so the asset code and the issuer code, right, underneath. So this is RBT. This is what you're going to need to add to your wallets when you bid to receive them. That's the trust line you're going to set up, right? So you've got the code, RBT. This is the trust line here. We've also got the amount to sell, right, which is 8 million. And then we've got the auction info. So we know that it starts on the 25th or on the 23rd today. So this is Tuesday when it begins. And it's going to run for 1 week. 25th, 26th, 27th, 28th, 29th, 30th, 31st, 1st. So the action is going to happen on the 1st, the last time. And what I was trying to get across earlier on is this. When I was talking to someone about this auction, what I wanted to explain is that when these bids come in and you've got these people that will be what I call bottom feeders, right? The bottom feeders, they will work out as they go back where 8 million is. So 8 million may be here. Let's just say 0.18. And what they'll do is they'll put in 0.81. They're going to put in 0.81 because they're going to try and be a bottom feeder and try and get into this auction at the last possible moment. So an hour before the auction ends, they're going to think, I'm going to be cool. I'm going to be putting 0.81. And what's going to happen 10 minutes before the auction, someone's going to come in here at 0.27 or, something ridiculous like that. And they are going to put in $20,000. Which is going to shift the price from here this way to the right. So then the bottom, the qualification price, well, they put 0.81 in, thinking they're getting in. The qualification price moves to let's just say 0.195. So rather than 0.81 being the lowest price, now it's 0.195. Those people miss out on the auction. They start shouting and screaming in the channels because they haven't made it on the auction. Oh, it's unfair, etc., etc. Someone's come in. However, you will also get to see this Mr. Whale come in at 0.27, and you think, you sly old dog, 0.27, putting in $100,000. I'm going to come in at 0.27001, right? And you are then going to get your order filled before Mr. Whale. So do you see how it's completely transparent? The fun begins in the last 10 minutes as the shuffling goes on of people putting in big orders, higher prices. So as those orders come in, all you need to do is just a fraction of a cent, cancel your 0.81, put in your next order up just a little bit above the big boys, and you will get your order filled before Mr. Whale. So there's no way here any one person can manipulate the whole thing. But there's also going to be a frantic activity in the last hour, because people are going to try and hedge right? In thinking, oh, what's going to be the sale price? Is there going to be lots of activity in the last hour? So people are going to try and call what's going to be the bottom, and that's going to be dangerous. I would have a look at the big orders that are coming in. So when you start seeing volume and there's like, say, 100,000 tokens at a certain price, think, well, if I go to the right-hand side, a little bit more expensive than that one, then I've got a fighting chance. If another $100,000 worth comes in here, that one will be wiped out and I'll still be good. So this is hugely strategic, everyone. You know, this isn't a, you know, oh, I'm just going to put a bid in, you know, like say with the pre-sale, it was, well, everyone just buys at 2 cents. That's it. This is not that easy. This is going to cause quite a commotion. And it won't really cause a commotion for the first 6 days and 23 hours. It won't be till the last hour we see some real movement in the price. And that's my prediction. Of course, there will be some bids early on, trying to get lucky, but we're going to see some fun. And then the bids will appear here. And when the auction is over, if we switch across to the winners addresses will be here, and you will be able to see what the base price is. My tip for you in this is, please do not try and come in and scrape your ass and be a bottom feeder. Because if you try and be a bottom feeder and you mistime the bottom feeding, you'll lose out and you'll kick yourself. For this, when you work it out in terms of what the actual future impact of your purchase will be, you'll probably be shooting yourself in the foot for like 0.3 cents or not even that much, 0.03 cents on a token. You know, and you think, is it really worth it? I missed out on a sale for the sake of 0.03 cents. And I haven't got these tokens now that could well appreciate in time. I'm happy to answer questions. If anyone's got any questions at this point, okay. So we've got participate. You win, you can keep it, or have them spin again. Don't look at luck horse in the mouth. You're on fire. Sounds logical and fun. That would be what we've got. Come on, win and do your own giveaway. I'm just looking through. So how do you place a bid on that page? You'll place a bid by connecting your wallet. Oops, let's go back. So you see my wallets here. You've got my bids. So there is no bid, but when this goes live, I'll be able to bid. And it's a good question, actually. Well done. So I'll be able to bid, but come back to this. And then my bids are going to show here. And all a bid is, just so you understand this, a bid is just an open limit order, right? So you are putting in an order, very much like you would go to Lumenswap's spot functionality and you'd think, hang on, I want to buy Lumenswap's LSP token at 4 cents and it's higher than 4 cents today. You would put an open limit order in at 4 cents, and that would not fill until such a time as the price went to 4 cents. We will see all the open orders, the open limit orders that are in. And as soon as the sell happens, all of the ones will be filled going backwards to 8 million tokens. So I hope that that's kind of helped you understand that. All right, let's have a look. Does the money you bid get lost or returned? Yeah, you get returned. You get it returned. It's an open order. So you just cancel order, right? You cancel it. So you're putting in an open order. It's like you wanted to try and buy Rabet for 0.185. It was 0.186. Your order stays open. You go to your orders, cancel that order, and your assets are safely back in your wallet. So it does. You do not lose at all. You'll only benefit if you. But as I said, think about it. Just think about it, right? You've just got to use your head and think about, what are people going to do here? People are going to come in at the last moment, and people are then going to be putting in these bids. Then why would you put in a bid on day one, you know, at 0. whatever the 4 cent mark is? You know, I mean, yeah, you could, if everyone decides, Rabet's not for me, I can't be asked, you know, then you would, of course, get that filled. Of course you would. But if you're not coming to check on that, you know, an hour before the end to see how things are getting on, there's a high likelihood that you're not going to get involved in that auction, right? You're not going to get your order filled because people would be bidding a lot higher. Lots of people right, are really, are speculating, and I think it's interesting to speculate. I'm going to hand over to Glow. Where is your head at? 8 million tokens, lots of interest on Lumenswap's community, Rabet's community. Where's your head at in terms of where you think the price in cents will likely go, Glow?
Okay, so I'm just gonna say I really like the way that graph is. I think that it's clean. I think it's gonna add another layer of transparency so you can see the bids coming in. You can and I agree. I don't think there's gonna be that much action until the last hour, the last 10, 15 minutes. But that's really where the fun's gonna be because people are gonna be trying to undercut, overcut. It's gonna be a war to try to get these Rabet tokens, and rightfully so, because there's not going to be many of them on the market. And I think if you don't get in on the auction, it's going to be hard to get it after because people aren't going to come off of these tokens, especially with how much rewards are going to be coming in the early uh, at the early part of this, because you get the most rewards if you're in it early with the liquidity provisions and with the holder rewards. And it's even more exciting because the people who got into pre-sale, it's locked for 20 months, and they don't even get any of it other than the holder rewards for at least 3 months. So there's no way anybody can dump this token. It's the perfect system. And then also we're going to be getting airdrops if you have a Lucy or if you have over 10K LSP. So that's just giving back to the community. And we haven't even mentioned the burn dynamic, because 7% of the total sales is going to get bought back and burned in LSP, make it even more deflationary. So it's a win-win no matter what. And I see a supply shock coming for Rabet with the little amount of tokens that are going to be on the market, and because I don't think people are going to come off their Rabets that easily.
Yeah, I think the same. I think that I'm looking at it and I think, okay, there's like 10 million that are going to be circulating to start off with. There's going to be the 2 million airdrop. There's going to be the 8 million here. It's not going to be for 3 months before the people that have been in the pre-sale are getting those unlocked. I know there's going to be a little bit of marketing, a little bit of stuff, but nothing serious. So you look at only 100 million supply. There's only 10 million available early doors. So even if it was 10 cents, that's only 1 million market cap for basically the front running wallet on Stellar. Not necessarily all singing or dancing now, but certainly, just down the road. I'm starting to look at different projects and I'm seeing that they are going to be integrating Rabet. And I think Rabet's going to be the MetaMask, as you say, with all these things that they're doing now with integrations. So I think even at 10 cents, okay, I see that as cheap. Right, 1 million market cap, I see that as cheap. So we're going from 4 to 10. I see that as cheap. And don't use this as financial advice, for God's sake, right? Do your own research, but just my mentality. So the people that have got the lockup for the 3 months in the pre-sale, they can't access. And when they do access, only 5% a month. So that's very little. So you have essentially taken 400 grand and you've locked it down for a vesting period of 2 years. I love that. Then you've got this 10 million, but then when I hope, touch wood and all the rest of the stuff, when I get my auction tokens, right, I'm going to be thinking, well, I just need to lock these in. I want monthly rewards. I'm not, even at 20, 30, 40 cents, I'm not selling. Because if it's 40 cents, the rewards you're going to be getting back on holding, right, that value, each one of those tokens is worth 40 cents, isn't it? So as the price is going up, you're going to be getting more rewards. And this is like a model that I mapped out for Lumenswap. And Lumenswap, of course, have taken a different navigational course to what Rabet are taking in terms of like their marketing, centralized exchange listings, and so on. So we haven't seen the price appreciation of Lumenswap until such a time as we get to the end of that marketing period. And then we're going to see free flowing price appreciation. But with that being said, I think, well, so then I was thinking, okay, I was just doing some numbers and I was just writing a few bits and pieces down. And I thought, okay, if this goes to like 40 cents, right? So this is 40 cents, which is possible, which would be 4 million market cap in the short term before the release of that 3-month period of tokens. Then I was thinking to myself, well, that would be 20 times the investment at the pre-sale if it went to 40 cents. And that would be a 4 million market cap, which is very feasible for a project of this capability, right? 4 million. Now, at 40 cents being 20 times the 2-cent price that we started off in the pre-sale, that means all of those people who are getting 5% per month at 20x of that is 100% of your investment, 100% of your investment on a monthly basis coming back to you in these 5% per month for 20 months. I said to my wife, I said, it's a salary. Yeah. I said, if this goes 20x, this is a salary for 2 years, right? It's a, you know, the people that have come in with a, you know, even if it's like $500, I know that was the least that you could put in pre-sale, $1,000, $5,000. Imagine if it goes 20x and you put in $5,000, you get $5,000 a month for 2 years.
Yeah, and this is still so early. I mean, we got the DAO governance coming to it. That is huge. If you have a substantial stack of Rabet tokens, you can start making proposals once this software comes out, and you can start making changes to better the network. Yeah, this is just an amazing opportunity. I'm excited for the auction. It's gonna be fun to see where it goes up to.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I wouldn't even like to think, like I say, I think anything less than 10 cents at the auction phase, I think that's amazing. But as I said, you know, if it goes up to that price, mine's getting locked down. I'm going to be looking for the liquidity pools. I'm going to be looking for the holding, you know, I'm going to be splitting down because I want to be getting those monthly rewards coming in. And you know, as well as I do from being involved in Lumenswap in the early days, those rewards that were coming in the 2-3 months when Lumenswap started doing their monthly, you know, hodling and their monthly LP rewards, they're like fat rewards to be taken every month, aren't they? They're really, you know, and we're not talking about price appreciation. We're just talking about if everything stays and remains stable. That was like nice rewards to be coming in.
And this is the perfect time for it to release, honestly, with the market down, because without it being on these central exchanges, as Stellar goes up, it should appreciate in value too, since it's pegged to Stellar.
Yeah, for sure. And I think it's going to be one of the, I mean, this is going to be like the network of different projects that really kind of go to the stratosphere. You know, there's going to be some, you know, as XLM moves up, you know, Lumenswap's going to be one of the main players. There's going to be Yield Blocks is going to be without doubt one of the main players. And there's going to be a host of other projects that are going to be bringing that type of, what I mean when people say, why don't you mention Drift Exchange? Well, I mean, we're doing stuff a little differently now. I mean, the ones that are building software, you know, the software builders, the Rabets of the world, the Lumenswaps of the world, the Braves of the world, these projects that are building out software and tools, I think they will start finding that they will start appreciating it as Stellar moves up, because people will be wanting to use the tools of Stellar Network, the access points, you know, the reward platforms, the lotteries, the NFT marketplace, and so on and so forth. So it's going to be really exciting, you know, and this is going to be you know, a fantastic week. I mean, don't forget, I mean, we start on Tuesday. So at this point, next week when we do the show, we're going to be able to look at some of the bids. We're going to be able to put in a live bid for, you know, people on the show, listening to the show. We're going to show how it works in a live environment. And there's going to be a hell of a lot of stuff for us to be getting our teeth stuck into. So I'm really, really excited. I just think that it's going to be crazy. And then of course the following week we can recap on the actual end of the auction, and maybe I just record the last 15 minutes to show people the craziness that's going to be going on. Guys, if you haven't already commented, Glow Rocks, type Glow Rocks into the comments, and you're going to drop yourself into the chance of winning 1,000 LSP tonight. King Vladimir is going to be giving us 1,000 LSP, and we are hopefully going to find a new winner. Yeah, a new winner tonight. What I'm going to do next is something that might be seen as a little bit contentious, and that is I'm going to show you the testnet of yield blocks. Right, so I'm going to go across and I'm going to show you what is happening over there. Now, they could be seen as if someone wanted to say a competitor to Lumenswap, but let me stop you there. Yield blocks are bringing a product to the market, which is liquidity and lending. Lumenswap are bringing a dozen products to the market, right? No one is doing what Lumenswap is doing. Lending is part of the Lumenswap plan of this year, but it's not just a one-trick pony. It's a field full of ponies. So if you're thinking I'm talking about something that is not in relation to Lumenswap, you are wrong. What I'm doing is teaching the noobs out there the power of lending so you can be prepared for what is coming with Lumenswap, right? So if you have any more questions about anything that I've talked about tonight, keep them coming in. Glow's going to be talking to me and informing me that there's questions coming in with regard to this. And then you can have a live tutorial, not just on the auction, but also on this testnet environment. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to now go to yield blocks, and it's going to be a testnet environment. So wait for me, just wang this in, load it up onto the screen share. Okay. Okay, so I've got that. And we are going to share. I think it's this one. I'm hoping. Can you see this testnet environment, Glow?
Yep, we can see it.
Okay, so let's just remove Lemon's comment. Where are we? Here we go. So you can see the screen. Right. This is, I've basically gone to Yield Blocks Finance, and what I'm doing here is I'm just sharing the screen for you, what you will see when you click onto the testnet. Okay, so launch testnet, and then this is the home screen available to you. What we have here, guys, is, let me just close this. My mouse is starting to play up a bit, so just bear with me. What we have here is we have the home screen, and what we've got is I'm not going to go into governance and turrets, by the way, right? So I'm not going into any of this weird and wonderful stuff. I'm going to just be talking to you about lending and borrowing to keep it nice and simple. What we have here is we have some data, right? We have our health factor, we have a net APR, we have total amount borrowed, we have total amount lent, right? And then we have the lending markets. And if we click this tab here, we have the borrowing markets. This part here is escrowed YBX. So this is a separate kind of entity to what we're doing here. At the top, we've got the market, our profile, governance, which I'm not touching on, turrets that I'm not touching on. We've got the faucet, we've got night and day mode, and then we've got our wallet connected. What we need to do is, if I just disconnect this wallet, what we need to do with this is if we hit this faucet button, if you want to go and play with it, you can generate a new test net, right? A test net wallet. And for you to connect your test net wallet, when you hit this, it will give you an address and it will give you a secret key. Now, remember, you are playing here. It's a game like digital Monopoly, right? You're not using real assets. The live version of this is not up and running yet. It is yet to come out. They're making it battle tested with this testing environment, finding the bugs before they release the actual proper one. We're hoping something's going to come maybe February, maybe March. I don't know. But this is going to change a lot of things on Stellar. And the reason for this is going to be what is explained in a short minute or two. I'm going to come onto my freighter. I'm going to come onto this account that they gave me, right? This one, which is this, it says unfunded. If you look and click onto this button, right, on the, can you see my freighter wallet or not?
No, I cannot.
Can you see it now? Nope.
Nope, still cannot.
Okay. So basically, I've clicked onto Freighter Wallet. Let me talk you through it if you can't see it. All right, so I've clicked onto my Freighter Wallet, which is a browser extension wallet, and there's a burger menu, 3 lines, top right. So I'm clicking onto the top right, and then it will give me a menu, show backup phrase, settings, help, leave feedback, and sign out. I'm clicking on settings. The top thing that I've got, the options that I've got on Freighter, public network, test network. I'm clicking test network, the little button. I'm coming and scrolling down to the bottom of that single page, and I'm clicking save. I've now got my assets open to me in the testnet environment. So when you have this faucet and you set up your wallet, you get some fake ETH, some fake USDC, and some fake XLM, right? You get the fake assets. So when I connect my wallet now and I go onto Freighter, it's connected my wallet, and you can see that now, it's connected through this one. I've got a health factor, I've got a borrowed value, I've got a lent value, and I've got a net APR. As if I was actually using real assets, right? But I'm not. This is when I did a play earlier on and I recorded a video about how this all works. So what we've got is we've got these 2 different areas. We've got borrowing, and then we've got lending. So if I'm lending, I'm putting my crypto assets into this protocol for people to borrow. If I'm borrowing people's assets who have locked them in this protocol, right? So I'm either borrowing or I'm lending. I hope that makes sense for those people that don't really understand loans. Now, this is where the funkiness happens. This is a lending market. So I am lending my assets to you to borrow. Here, we've got 1.04 billion XLM. Remember, many of these figures are placeholders. They are not accurate. This is not real assets. But what we've got is I can get an interest rate on my XLM, if I lock it up, of 0.1% a year. Now, you might say, well, that's cat, right? 0.1% is nothing to write home about. But then we also get an additional, if I just click onto here, look, the yearly YBX return from collateralizing this asset. All collateralizing means is you are providing your crypto assets as collateral in this client, in this platform here that you can see. So if I'm getting 18.61%, I'm being paid in YBX for putting my XLM inside here. Now, this loan to value is the maximum that I can borrow back on how much I collateralize. To break this down for those that don't do maths, if I put in and collateralize $100,000, I can borrow $85,000, right? Now, I think this is really high. If we go and look at Anchor Protocol, when I've done a video on that before, that was about 60%. So the risk of you getting liquidated, I'm going to talk to you about that and explain it, is really high here. It only takes the market to turn significantly downwards, and the value to drop on your collateral, and you can get liquidated. Very dangerous to play the game to 85%. A tip, if you're collateralizing, right, I would never borrow against it any more than like 40, 45%, top end, If it's 85%, it gives you a buffer. If XLM tanks on its arse and it loses 15, 20% overnight, you're safe. If you're up here and it loses 20% overnight, you're liquidated. You'll lose your crypto assets. You can see that I've got a current deposit in here of 4.96 thousand XLM. So 4,960 XLM is my collateral. I've got some ETH, and I've provided collateral here of 0.94 ETH. And here I've got the USDC of 9.94, right? So 994 USDC. So this is what I'm providing for you to borrow. Look at this. I'm getting an interest rate of 150% for putting my ETH in. I'm getting an interest rate of USDC of 151% of putting my USDC in. So I'm getting paid this, but I'm not just getting that. I'm getting this in YBX. So I'm earning this percentage in the native asset. and I'm earning this percentage in YBX. This is where it gets exciting for you people interested in getting yields, right? And this is why this platform is going to blow up and why lending is going to blow up Stellar Network, okay? This platform is one, but then there's going to be Lumenswap and there's going to be all others, and I need you to understand what we're looking at. On the back end of the lending is the borrowing. So if we click on borrowing now, look, I've borrowed, right, some XLM. And this lending to borrowing ratio is what gives me my nice smiley face green health factor. I've decided that I also want to borrow some more because my wife likes handbags, yeah, or like my mum wants a new car. So I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to borrow some more XLM. Can you see here, I've got a maximum borrow. Yeah, 9 point. It's not telling me what I've currently borrowed, but you'll see here, this is where the glitches come in. You'll see here that I've actually currently borrowed 8,000, but it's not saying current borrowed. So that should say 8,000. That's a bug. But what we need to do, we can see the maximum borrow. So what do I want to do? Well, I want to borrow the bloody maximum. Yeah, because my mum's got expensive taste. So not in cars, of course. But I want to borrow this 9841. What I want you to look at, guys, is this figure, this health factor drop, right? We've got loan to value of 85%. So it's only allowing me to borrow 85% in dollar value of the collateral that I've put in. Okay, so of all the assets that I've put in, 85% of that equals what I've got here. So I'm going to borrow that max. I'm going to not deposit additional collateral. I'm just going to look borrow, and I'm going to borrow. I'm hoping that this goes through and it doesn't glitch. It was a little glitchy yesterday. I'm hoping they've ironed out those bugs. So I've put that in. I'm confirming the transaction, and I'm borrowing. Okay, so this has failed to execute. It was a little buggy yesterday as well. So let's just try if we can borrow, maximum borrow. Let's try and borrow half an F. Yeah, and then we're going to borrow that. We're going to confirm. We're going to see if it does it on F. We come down, confirm the transaction. Your transaction was submitted. Watch this. Did you see that happen, right? You've gone from a health, nice, smiley green factor to a indifferent face, an amber face, because I've borrowed more, right? My liability has increased. Yeah, my exposure to liquidity has increased here. So I'm like now, maybe I need to add more collateral or reduce my borrowing, because if the market turns steeply, I'm going to get liquidated, right? So I could then go, well, I'm going to pay some back. Yeah, one of these, I'm going to pay some back. I've made some gains. I'm going to pay this off. But what you're going to see here is going to blow your mind out of proportion. This is now a borrowing market. So we're borrowing, we're taking a loan. We're borrowing here. We can see the market size, liquidity, what's in the pot, etc. Right? The interest rate is how much I need to pay the protocol to take the loan. 5%, 153%, 151%. You go, wow, that's damn expensive, right? 153% to take a loan. But look at what you're getting for taking the loan, right? 2,500%. Net, you're looking at 2,400%. Am I talking out my ass? Roughly. 2,400%, just 2,380% net positive APR for taking a loan. Stop. Repeat. You are getting paid 2,400% in this test environment to take a loan. This is what we call a self-paying loan. It doesn't exist in centralized finance because the profits go to the fat cats. These systems work where the profits go back into the protocol and we benefit from the profit. So when people take loans and they pay these interest rates flip across here, look, and then they will pay the percentages out to the people borrowing, providing collateral. So you see the borrowers will pay over here. Now, before this protocol exists, right, before this client here exists, there was no YBX, was there? Right? There was no, before YBX existed, before the whole script 3 and everything existed, there was no, this is a token that was created out of thin air. So they can give you this as an incentive to provide your assets, can't they? Because it had no value, did it, before it started? It's just like Drift Exchange. It's just like Lumenswap's LSP. None of them existed before the platforms existed. So where they can pay you out this governance and reward token in ridiculous amounts. Guess what? You can take it to Lumenswap or anywhere else, cash that out into whatever it is that you've borrowed, and you can pay down your loan in this amount. So you can then essentially take a loan or provide collateral, take the loan on the back of the collateral. So you're getting paid to lend, right? To provide collateral. You're getting paid your here 150%. You're getting paid your 2000% in YBX for providing F, right? So you're getting paid on the collateral side. You're getting paid on the borrowing side, net positive. So it's like you going to the bank and the bank saying, I tell you what, here you go, come in today. We're giving you your £10,000 loan, and we're also giving you 500% a year to take it out because we want you as a customer. And you're like, what's the catch? And they say, there isn't one. It's the way the protocol works. This is how it works. And I was in, nothing as significant as this. I was involved, and Bull Runner, if he's around, he will confirm this. I was involved with Anchor Protocol over on Terra Money when it was paying net 150%, right, to take a loan. So you could take a loan and get paid 150%. And then you're like, wow, I've actually still got like 60% of my crypto assets. I'm going to go and farm them and make even more money on top of that. Compounding on top of compounding on top of compounding, right? It's compounding on top of compounding. You get your rewards, compound on top, and you can of course pay down, pay down the loan. But as you pay down the loan, of course, you're earning less interest on the loan, aren't you? So you're trying to balance the two. And if you notice when I talk to you about this health factor, if I was to come back now and I say, you know something, oh my God, my boiler's broken, right? My boiler's broken, so I need to have a look how much available to deposit 0.5. I need to put in 0.5. I need to put in another 0.5F so I can get a new boiler. I'm going to not deposit, sorry, I'm going to borrow. Yeah, so I'm going to borrow some more F. I get 0.3. I need to use 0.3. So I'm putting 0.3. Yeah, I'm going to borrow this because my boiler's just knackered up today. So we're waiting for the transaction. We're hoping it pops. Something went wrong. Let's just refresh this. Probably glitching again. Okay, borrow. But what you're noticing here, right, is 0.34. What you're noticing here is that I am not having to go to a bank. Not Max, sorry, it's my fault here, messing about. I'm not having to go to a bank. I'm not having to fill in any paperwork. I'm not having to do anything. All right, so I don't want to deposit that. I want to borrow 0.3. Let's confirm that up. Let's hopefully this will go in. Sometimes, guys, it's going to glitch for you if you're playing a case. You just need to refresh. You just need to have a little play. Need to because you're obviously playing with just fake assets, right? Watch this up here. Stuff it. Let's try USDC then. 800, 750. It will work in a minute. Some of these I was having a lot of trouble with it yesterday in terms of, let's just try XLM. Maybe it's because I'm coming too close to my 85%. Yeah, well, what will happen? Okay, so I'm just going to have to talk you through it. What will happen here? This will go red, and this will go to an unhappy face because what's happened, I've borrowed near that 85% level that we were talking about when we're talking about the lending, and we've got the 85%. I'm right up on like the 80, 81, 82% borrowed level. That's when you've got this face, you need to take action. When you've got a green face, you're good as gold. When you've got this face, take action. When you've got a red face, you're in trouble. And just the other day when the markets turned upside down, I was 1% away from getting liquidated over on Terra Money. And I realized it had cost me about 30 grand. So I just realized, I ran downstairs in the morning. I was like, shit, the markets have turned. Right, I know that I was running too high anyway. I looked at it and I was like, shit, I'm 1% away. Right, and I managed to turn 1% out. So that would have been 30 grand up the Swanee, right? Which I didn't really want to happen. It would have been inconvenient, right? But you've got the idea here that what we can do is we can earn on both sides of that coin, the providing and the borrowing. And that is where like the magic of all of this kind of happens. Have you got anything you want to add, Glow? And has anyone got any questions? I'll go through the questions.
Yeah. There's a lot of questions right now. I just wanted to add real quick. I'm so glad they have this test net for people to go in and play around with it, because it's a lot easier to get liquidated with monopoly money than real money. You gotta be careful and do a lot of research, because if you're too greedy, you will get slaughtered in something like this. But if you are smart about it and you capitalize on moments like this, whenever the market is down, it looks like it is starting to show signs of recovery. It could be really profitable, especially looking at it. I didn't know they had, they gave YBX as well on top of the borrowing rate. That's crazy to me. But it looks like there's a lot of questions on collateralization and about Lumenswap's lending and borrowing protocols as well in the comments. So let's check out some of these comments.
Okay, so I'm going to answer this one first of all while you're checking out a few, okay? But why, if you've got 100 grand, would you need to borrow any? Okay, the magic of this is you might not want to sell your assets. So I might want to be a hodler of LSP when Lumenswap released their version of this, right? So I'm thinking, right, I've got like however many thousand LSP. I don't want to sell them. I want to hold them, but I want to use them, right? I want to use them. I don't just want to sit there doing nothing. So what I can do is I can lock down my LSP in as collateral. So that means that asset is safe. It's there, right? Obviously, if I behave myself on the borrowing side, I can then borrow back against it. So you're locking your assets in, but you're borrowing against it. Then I can take them to 3 or 4 different places. So let's say I'm borrowing or I'm providing collateral. I'm paid for providing collateral by Lumenswap. So Lumenswap are paying me. I'm happy days that I'm getting my increased percentages there for providing collateral for you to borrow, right? So I've got those safe. I'm then taking out that LSP and I'm thinking, well, I know that I can rinse 300% on this with liquidity pools, and I'm willing to take the gamble. So I've got the collateral, I'm taking a loan, I'm putting that loan to work, or it might be I'm flipping that into USDC, I'm bridging it across to one of the other DeFi chains, I'm earning 15, 20% on that loan as well. I'm only having to pay 5% with Lumenswap for the loan. I'm making a net 10%. So you're making on providing the collateral and you're making on the borrowing side because you're taking the loan, and you're making on what you borrowed. So this is 3 times cherry on top toffee ice cream, right? You've got to think about that. If you can put it into sound projects. I mean, I showed Anchor on one of these Lumenswap shows before, and I was showing that how Anchor was working and how you could get paid for taking loans. Anchor now has slightly gone negative, i.e. I think it was around about negative 3%. But then you take out that and you put it into the positive 15 and you're net positive 12. So you're taking a loan, and even though your loan now is you're having to actually pay to take the loan, whereas it used to pay you, you're getting net because you're putting that back into Anchor protocol. You're getting 15%, oh sorry, 19.4% Anchor. So you're getting that, you're paying 3% maybe to take the loan out, net 16. So you're getting a 16, you're getting 16% on the loan that you took. It's a mind spangle to try and, you know, unpack all that stuff. But when you look at it, this is para DeFi, because it's not a bank, it's not the Rothschilds that are getting rich on you. You're getting rich on you. Yeah, you can't do it one side. You can't go, I'll tell you what, I'm just going to like whop out a load of loans and I'm going to run off into the sunset my Web3 wallet. You have to provide the collateral. You can't take a loan without providing the collateral. But what it does do is it allows people to lock down their assets and to use their assets in the same breath. And then to take those assets that they're getting paid for and then to rinse them back in and to make more crypto. So you've got this cycle. And I've been running these cycles for about 8 months, hundreds of thousands of dollars on these cycles. Yeah, and that's not look at me, I'm so wonderful. Hundreds of thousands of dollars in these cycles, because as soon as you get the system squared in your mind, right, and you're looking and you're maintaining your levels at all times, right, then you just rinse and repeat the whole cycle round. Rinse and repeat. It makes no sense. You'll only take a loan if I'm skinned. Well, this question is, you need to look a little deeper, right, at this, because it's not I'm going to get a loan to get a handbag. You know, it's not that sort of thing. You're taking a loan to get them crypto assets, to do more with them, to make more gains, to make more percentages, to put into liquidity, farming, staking, blah-de-blah-de-blah-de, right? It's just a way that you can unlock your assets into multiple different ways of bringing in revenue streams. Yeah. What's John put here? You can actually keep lending what you borrow and repeat until, like a circle, yeah, until your health factor gets too low and you're liquidated. Yeah, you can. It's dangerous, right? It's dangerous. I'm not saying it's not dangerous if you're not on the game. And then you can go to places, I think it's like Collegia or something. They do like insurance and liquidations on Terra Money. That would be something that will come to Stellar. So you can actually then back or you can actually offer percentages in liquidation. So essentially what you're doing with that is you are saying, if you get liquidated, it's only going to cost you 3%. Whereas the whales before used to push, you know, as they do on the traditional markets, the whales will push the price beyond a certain point to liquidate people in longs and shorts, right? So they can then make 10, 15, 20%. And over on Terra Money, you can offer to buy people's crypto assets on 2%, 3% difference in the market value. So they only actually, when they get liquidated, they're only losing 2 and 3% against the whales knocking them out for 20%. The whole thing, I'm telling you, is mind-bending, mind-boggling. Not legal money laundering, no. It's not, well, it's your crypto. You're just rinsing your crypto inside, aren't you? You've got to imagine you're so used to traditional banks, shareholder payments. How many of these banks do you know about? The $100 million bonus for the CEO and he's made a fuck up of it all. When you think, why do you get $100 million and you've messed it all up? You've created a recession or you've took the bank for all this thing, you get $100 million. Who pays that? You? Me. So wouldn't you rather that $100 million comes out fairly to the community using the bank? All this is a crypto bank. It's a crypto bank where the people, if you look at the top part of this here, it says governance. We can actually vote and we can put proposals. So let's just say I've come up with a proposal today and I actually want to make it so that Drift can be used or Lumenswap's LSP can be used as collateral. Well, I want to be able to lock that down. That's my proposal. And then all of you lot go, yeah, we want Drift and LSP to be collateral too. You can then lock your YBX into that protocol and you can lock them in there as votes. And then depending on how many votes I get for my proposal, they'll bring that in and then we can all use our Lumenswap and provide that as collateral. Yeah, it's great. Honestly, it's a new world, what you're experiencing here. And this is in testnet. So this is like, we are right before, right? We're in this transitional period where people have got to get out of, I must go to the bank, fill in a form, then the banks decide whether I'm worthy. Why should the banks decide whether you're worthy?
And at that point, you got to pay monthly payments with crazy, enormous interest that you're going to get stuck paying the interest for at least a year or two, the first year or two of the loan. It's a horrible system that we've been using for too long. So this is kind of the revolution to a new system that's more fair, that's for the people. There are risks involved, but the system, as long as you know what you're doing and you're smart about it, this can be really lucrative.
Yeah, exactly. Well, what it can be is, I mean, even if it's not lucrative, it's not costing you the fees of the banking. And if you've got crypto assets, I mean, here's one for you. I can provide collateral, right? And I can take a loan out against that collateral. I take a loan out against the collateral, and then I take that to Binance or wherever it might be, and then I cash that out into Bitcoin, and then I cash that Bitcoin out into fiat. I go and buy myself a car in cash. So I've actually bought a car in crypto, right? Because I've just taken it out so that I can actually buy the car, because they wouldn't accept crypto. But now, because the loan is actually inside crypto and I'm working that cycle, the car's free. There isn't a payment every month, because I'm working that cycle and I'm getting net positives. And that net positive that's giving me an interest for providing the collateral, for taking the loan, I'm scraping together, I'm taking it out, cashing it out to fiat, and I'm paying my car. Free car. Who likes sports cars? I'll tell you what, you like a free sports car better than a normal one, right? There you go. And that's how this system can be played, because these balances are there. Of course, that's an extreme example, and this is not financial advice. But what we're saying is, it can either be used to lock your assets on the one side, so you're just providing collateral, you're just taking a little bit of interest, thank you very much. Or it can be where you take a loan based on your collateral, or you don't bother at all because you think it's far too high risk. But we're in a time, right? We're in a time where we need to think that the old system is messed up, and this system that we are in at the moment is going to revolutionize how we do stuff. You know, whether you're buying a house, car, handbag, whatever it might be, the old system of this is going up and you're having to just take it on the chin, they're gone. These type of platforms that are coming are revolutionizing this, because it's all coming round in circular. People say, well, how can they afford to pay this kind of, this kind of percentage? Because what they do is they're balancing it one side to the other side to ensure that stability, and it's all done through computer code. Yeah, one side to the other side, and then they've got a third-party token they're incentivizing your action with. So whether it's Anchor Protocol and it's the ANC token, if you go on to like Trader Joe's, it's the Joe token, and it does it. You can go to many different networks with lending, the protocols there. And you can go to like, oh, I'm on Avalanche, I'm on Terra Money, I'm on, soon to be Stellar, right? We're behind the drag curve here. And some of these, Anchor's got 11.5 billion locked in it. 11.5 billion. So it is a crypto bank. Why would you go and with your cap in your hand, please, sir, can I have a loan? No, you've been a bad person. You haven't, this whole shit that they're talking about at the minute with UBI and, universal basic income, unless you behave and take your medications and jump through these hoops, we're not giving you a loan. It's like, do one. I use my crypto. You say, I like that sort of stuff. Decentralized rebels.
Jack made a good comment. You basically become a quantum banker. I agree. You can honestly make a living off of this. You can be a liquidity provider, as that could be your job. It unlocks completely different opportunities that weren't available before in standard finance, and it makes it easy. Like this layout is super simple. Anybody could use it. Johnny, age 5, could use this as long as he knew what he was doing. It's exciting, to say the least. And I think it's going to come full circle. You see with these other platforms, once they get the lending and borrowing, a lot more capital comes onto the network. People start taking advantage of that, and it becomes a loop, essentially, that continues to pay itself.
Well, when you start thinking, you start thinking about what we know what Lumenswap's trying to do. We know Lumenswap. Someone asked a question, by the way, I missed it. There's been that many questions, but someone asked a question I just glanced at that said, Lumenswap doing this, or is it going to be entirely different? Lumenswap are trying to always evolve. So they're looking at this, and I've said, shit, Vlad, you need to have a look at like the yield blocks testnet. Are we going to be doing this, or are we doing something different? And his answer was, we're always evolving. And I was like, well, that hasn't answered my question. But that when, you know, Lumenswap bring it out to the table. It might not even be that we understand it initially, but then when we understand it a little bit, like Jack was saying about Lucy's and, you know, the ongoing value and stuff like that, then when we get it, we go, oh my God, yeah, now we get it. So I think that it may not be identical to this. And I think yield blocks is going to, I mean, I'm pulling in my crypto assets from different networks, because one thing you can say with this, the early birds are going to catch worms. Because you think about it, what I must tell you with this kind of thing. So when you go back to market and we see these crazy issuance rates, as the market size increases, the issuance, the APR decreases. So as more people go, woohoo, come on, let's go. It's yield blocks time, right? And we all start whacking our ETH and our USDC, this starts dropping. And you have to balance and say to yourself, okay, what point of this does it not make sense for me? But until such a time, and I mean, Stellar is like still living under a rock in terms of marketing, we're not going to see multi-billions of liquidity added. There's no way. There's no way when we're on a 40 million TVL network, we're going to see 10 billion in yield blocks in the first month. Right, so why the going's good and we're all aware of it, we go, you know something, you know, licking off a few notes and we're getting them into yield blocks so we can get those gains and we can get those huge percentages in YBX in the percentage rates that are being paid out. We can take them off the table, whether you're just doing it in collateral and you're not bothering with taking a loan, it's up to you. But we need to be the early birds. Then when the masses find out about it, quick, head to Stellar, and everyone's coming here from Solana and Avalanche and Terra Money, and they hear about these great, gains to be made. We're already sat there fat, rich, and happy, right? So this is the reason I'm bringing it to you now, so you can rinse this video, share it with your pals, and say that we need to be getting in on this. As soon as this thing is live, we just need to be watching out and getting in so that we can be taking some of the gains out. Lumenswap are going to be bringing a whole ecosystem. This is a one-trick pony. Yeah, Lumenswap, so I see someone put in there a field full of horses, not even ponies. Right, so they're going to be saying, oh, well, when you've taken out your assets out of here, why don't you buy a Lucy, because there's another 10 auctions coming up and you're just going to be rolling in all these other tokens. And when you've got all them other tokens, cash them in, put them in your holding wallet. You can be getting some from holding. Then you can be bridging to another network and you can be putting them into that. And honestly, the people that pay attention, and one of my passions is education. If you get educated in all this, and you start drilling into it, asking questions, getting them answered, understanding the mechanisms, you can create generational wealth. And what I mean by that is not just to pay your kid through university. You create a house and a lifestyle for their grandkids and their grandkids with this system. Balance it, be sensible. Go on, mate, sorry.
Oh, I was just going to say, and right now we're at the very beginning stages of this. This is still in the infancy. I could see whenever Lumenswap gets their lending and borrowing platform, you could put up a Lucy potentially as collateral, or any NFT on a Stellar network. Could be one you get from Drift that's super rare. It could be one you get from Na or a Stellar Punk. You could put them up as collateral and have a collateralized loan off of the NFT. It's just crazy the potential that these services have, and we're honestly right at the infancy period. It's only going to continue to grow from here. Somebody could put something like that into a governance vote to do NFT, and the way that Stellar's network is, I see that it could be easily done for NFTs.
Well, I think that what we're going to do is we're going to see, say, one thing I've been investigating amongst other things is NFTs with guaranteed future value. So, for example, you have an NFT representation of a $5,000 investment. You invest $5,000, that NFT is worth $5,000, but then you'll get interest on that. Now, the US will jump all over that and say we can't allow that. But in other countries, we might be able to do something about that, right? It's just we're trying to work out the finer points of it. So essentially what that would be is an old-fashioned bond, where you would buy into and then you would get guaranteed. So then once every 3 months, you'd get sent another NFT, and that NFT is your percentage you earn on the first NFT. Now, what you could do is we could send you out the NFT. That's your receipt. So we take your $5,000, you get the NFT receipt. And at a point in the future, you have to have it locked down for a year. But in that year, you get your dividends every 3 months, right? Based on your $5,000 investment. At the end of the year, you can then cash out back. So you can send us the NFT, you get your dollars back. But what you could do in the meantime is you could send us back that NFT, and then we can lend you 60% of the NFT's value so you can go and use it. So we are then taking the interest of that NFT, right? But you are getting usable assets. Sorry, you're still getting the interest on the NFT, but you're also getting 60% of the collateral that you've put in. And then all you do is you take that $5,000 and you put it into these kind of platforms and other kind of platforms for people, right, as a fund, right? And this is how we're going to go into this quantum funding, right? Whereas at the minute, funds are like, you know, for the rich and famous and for the banking elite. We're going to be saying, no, hang on a second, this is a guaranteed future value NFT. And it might not be a fancy thing. It might just be guaranteed future value NFT written on a piece of, you know, a digital printout, right? And you have that, and then you have that on your phone or you have that on your computer, and you start getting a yield based on that. But that is a representation, a receipt of your investment. So this then could be locked into the protocol such as this, and you could start getting a return like this. So that could be classified as collateral. Right, or we could say, well, the base price or the floor price of Lucy's is now $5,000. So now you're good for $5,000 loan, right? Of 60% of $5,000, so $3,000 loan, right? If you lock in your Lucy, and you know, and then you know people are like, I'll lock it in. So if you don't pay back, we've got your Lucy. It's worth $5,000, right? So we're quids in because we got $5,000. Your quids in because you took the loan. So the potential with what we're looking at is staggering, and I don't think any of us fully understand. But you know, we're starting to break all these barriers down, and like, you know, a lot of people are here. We're going to watch this 3 times because they can't. You know, they're thinking, well, I normally go to the bank and pay 7% for a loan. Now, what's this shit about where I'm going to be paid 7%? You know, it's crazy. It really is.
Yeah, I agree. It's crazy, all the possibilities. Even we were talking earlier in the sewers about the liquid NFTs. Like that brings a whole new dynamic to NFTs, where you can put in a pool for one NFT for another. You can also put in a pool with an NFT and, like, let's say 10K XLM or 50K XLM, and everything connects. I mean, I see it as everything having value and being able to easily swap from one asset to another, whether it be NFTs, whether it be, it's just going to be, it's going to be a good system. I see a lot of potential with Stellar. You also see the Turret smart contracts coming out. There's just so much development. It really gets me excited.
Yeah, I think we're just at the precipice. You know, I keep talking about tipping points, and we talked about, you know, the unity that we've been working on with Drift Exchange, Lumenswap. You know, there's going to be some great news in the next 10 days. There's going to be coming as well for the Drift Exchange people. You know, we talked about these kind of collaborations. We talked about, you know, certain things that are going to be happening. And you're right. I mean, you know, it's with turrets and, you know, with all these other things that are coming. It's going to, people aren't going to, the floor is going to be pulled out. The rugs are going to be pulled out. And I hate using the word rug, and that's probably a wrong analogy to use. But the floor is going to drop from beneath your feet. It's going to move that quick. And this is what I'm saying, in the times, and I've always said to my community, in the times of market downturn, get knowledgeable. Learn what the hell is going on. This stuff, when people say to me, Ben, is that, you know, crypto going to go to nothing and all of us going to be skin? And I say, you think this stuff is going away? You think that I'm letting this stuff get out of my grasp? If it's not exactly this platform or Lumenswap, there's going to be an evolution of that. The amount of mind power that is in crypto now, the evolutionary power, is like nothing that the world has ever. This is like a once in millennia, and I'm not saying that to be a sensationalist or trying to make that bigger than it is. A once in millennia time, right, that we are now living in, where the transition that everyone has been used to for thousands of years, going back to the Chinese and the first paper notes and Roman coins and all this shit that's happened in the past. Now we've got this system where the people, with this technology, the people can be empowered. And when the people don't have to go to the banks, and I think it was one of the Rothschilds has been quoted in the past to say, he who controls the money controls the world. Well, how about we take the money back? How about we take the control of the money back? And then the people control the world. And let's see how quick we arrive at utopia then, against if we leave the bankers in charge of sorting out solutions. So I'm really excited about this. I appreciate that, this is a lot to take on board, and you might have to watch it several times. And I haven't gone into the escrow, and I haven't gone into turrets, and I haven't really covered the governance at any great detail. And it's a lot of me talking tonight, and, Glow's chipped in here and there. But I tried to pack in this 90-minute video a shit ton of value. This video could be the trigger point for you to change your financial destiny. And again, I'm not saying that to try and big it up. It could be where you go, there is this world that exists. I can do this with my crypto assets right now. I say to everyone, if you just hodling, if you just thinking, I'm going to put a little bit of stuff in my wallet and, I'm just going to let market conditions go up and down, then you're missing a trick. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying you're missing. If you think I'm just hodling, you can hodl in certain protocols and platforms the same way, and you can earn yield on it. You can be earning a percentage on a daily basis. Why would you just sit there and think, oh, look at this nice F that I've got in my hand. Isn't it wonderful? Isn't it pretty? Why wouldn't you put it in as collateral? Why wouldn't you go and have a look at these stable crypto banks and see what you can do? As I said, then you start compounding and slap it on top of each other, and the hundreds of thousands could be yours in your pocket, and you get the financial freedom, and you get to sack the dream stealing boss, and free yourself and your family, because that's what we ultimately want, isn't it? We want freedom. We want freedom to do what we want, when we want, for as long as we want, with whoever we want. Yeah, so that's enough from me. Glow, do you want to wrap it up, mate?
I just want to say you're spot on. That's definitely the goal. It's to create multiple streams of passive income. That way, even when there is a downturn in the market like this, you're still good because you have income coming in, so you can continue to buy up these assets that we know are going to appreciate in the future for crazy discounts. Because honestly, I don't think we're ever going to see these prices again. You're going to look like a hero if you invested in Stellar when it was 17 cents, whenever it's like $7 to $8 in the future. I'm not saying that's going to happen short term, but it's going to happen eventually. So you want to take advantage of these opportunities. You want to find these assets that pay you back for holding it, for providing liquidity. There's a lot of opportunities. You just gotta pay attention. You gotta do your own research, and you got to be early, and we're definitely early in these assets on Stellar. A lot of people haven't found their way over here, but I think they're going to be pleasantly surprised once they find this community and find how easy it is to use a network and how powerful this network is.
Yeah, I'm with you. I was saying to my wife earlier on, just talking on a different topic, and she keeps saying to me, now's my time to buy XRP. She's like an XRP maxi, but she's just waiting to buy like a shit ton. And she goes, no. I says, Kel, I says, she's been talking like under $1, and she, and the first crypto is crazy. The first crypto video I ever made, anyone from Bullring Crypto will back me up on this. Back in 2017 was XRP when it was 16 cents. and I was like, this thing's going to moon. There's like a big conference coming. We're going to moon. And it went all the way up. Do you remember it went all the way up to like 320? Mm-hmm. And I think I panic sold at like 240. And I was like, woo, I was right. It was 16 cents and I sold at 240, a nice big bag. But like, you know, as she keeps saying now, it's going to go again. It's only a matter of time the lawsuit's done, you know, and like there's going to be XRP, Algo, you know, XLM, and all of the family are going to start moving big time. Maybe it's going to be a collapse first of all, and then out of the fire comes the phoenix of all of those projects, and they're going to start mooning hard. But yeah, I'm with you. It's going to happen, and I'm going to just give her a little nudge in a minute and say, Cal, get yourself your XRP stack. Why it's so cheap. But yeah, with XLM as well, it's very, very cheap. And it's going to be these projects in the future that on top of these networks that are really going to thrive. So great advice, guys. Before Henchman Sports, there he is. Depos is listening in and he's saying it's a true story, yeah, from back in the day. Guys, it's giveaway time. It's giveaway time. We love giving away. Vlad is going to give us 1,000 LSP to give to one of you lucky people. So I'm going to screen share the giveaway tool. And by the way, if you're enjoying this kind of content, right, and you want to see more of this kind of content on these videos, these kind of tutorials and educational pieces, share this, subscribe, share it with other people. Glow and I love to kind of talk about all this stuff and like show you what's happening in the crypto space. So, you know, if that's something that you like, give us a comment on this video, share it with your family, share it on Twitter, on YouTube, get the link and post it places and say, listen up to this sort of stuff that's happening in crypto. We respect it because it'll help with the algorithm. And also, I'm sure your crypto communities will also be beneficial by listening to this kind of thing. So where are we? Giveaway tool. Let's share that. We've got 45 entries tonight. That's really, really good. So off we go. Here we go. Good luck.
Who's going to get it?
1,000 LSP coming to one of you lucky guys. Who's it going to be? Jamie Postma. That's a new winner. So Jamie, fantastic. If you're listening in, jump across, maybe just drop me a message. Drop me a message, Boring Crypto on Twitter, or come across the Lumenswap Telegram. Yeah, and just drop me a message and say it's me. I won tonight, and then we will deliver or get your address and deliver 1,000 LSP to you. Well done, Jamie. Thank you very much, Glow. It's been an absolute pleasure. And of course, all of you people listening live. If you're listening on catch up, also, thank you very much for tuning in. It's going to be an interesting year, 2022. I'm pretty excited.
Yeah, I'm excited too. I didn't even realize we went off for an hour and a half. It felt like 30 minutes, if that. But yeah, 2022 is going to be amazing, especially here in Stellar. And I'm excited, and it's going to be a good time.
It is indeed. Cheers, Glow. I'll catch you later, bro. All the best to everyone that's watching. Have a great week. I'll speak to you soon.
Cheers.